What's going on? No, I I thought about doing this video. I gave it second thoughts, third thoughts, fourth thoughts. And the reason being is because I know how, being a person from the Caribbean, I'm from Jamaica. I know how easy it is for some people to turn on you as an outsider or quote unquote outsider whenever you speak certain things that I wouldn't say it doesn't compute with them, but they don't agree with. Now, I see a little bit of hypocrisy going on with the whole Kamala Harris running for president. And while I don't agree with her running for president, I don't agree with it, I see some hypocrisy. Now, I get it that she has a tainted past. She did some treacherous things. I think it was like allegedly sending people to jail or keeping people in prison for some stuff. I don't remember everything I saw, but a lot of it had to do with the 3 strikes law out there in California and a whole bunch of stuff, to black people or black American people. So I get that. And I agree with everybody who says they don't vote for her or they wouldn't vote for her. But I have a little issue here. Now, while I agree with all the talking points discrediting her and proving why she's not a good candidate or why people should not vote for her, I agree with all of that. But the one thing I don't agree with is this. Even though it's true, because it is true, is that she's not pure black. I agree. She's mixed with Indian, and she's mixed with Indian. Her father was Jamaican, or is a Jamaican, or something like that. I'm not sure if he's even black, because we have Chinese Jamaicans, Indian Jamaicans, so saying that he's a Jamaican doesn't necessarily mean he's black. But people are saying she's not pure black and stuff like that, and she's married to a white guy, and all of that is true. But here is what I'm calling hypocrisy on. Now, we saw what happened with Obama. He wasn't pure black and stuff like that. He wasn't good for the black community. I get that. I get all of that. And I agree. So I see why a lot of people right now are skeptic of Kamala Harris and Cory Booker. I get all of that. But this is the thing. I see black people in America crying about intersectionality. They want to swirl. And I'm not talking about all. This is not all. I'm not speaking in absolutes. But they talk about intersectionality, wanting to mix with white people. They want to be hired in white people's establishments. And, they call certain white people racist because these white people want to keep their race pure. Just like Richard Spencer, that's his name. And some president, I forget his name, back in the 70s, who said that white people were not producing enough and black people were reproducing at a high rate. I think it was it Reagan or President Nixon who was talking about keeping the white race pure and stuff like that. Black people have a problem with that. Some black people, right? They have an issue with other people keeping their race pure and stuff like that, keeping their shit pure. But you want to keep your thing pure. You're going to call out Kamala Harris. And again, I'm not saying she is a good candidate. I agree, she's not a good candidate. But I'm just pointing out the hypocrisy. people are pointing out that she's not an American, she's Jamaican. So hold up. I even see people in comment sections and in live streams saying that she's not black. And if you're not American, if you're not a black American, you're not black. What in the fuck are you talking about? I saw this. I even saw some people in certain comment sections and live streams debating people on this black thing, who's black and who's not black, and if Caribbean people are black or not, to the point where I'm hearing people saying that black Caribbean people don't want to be black and they don't identify as being black. I heard that there's a popular YouTuber who likes to say that shit and talk about people from the islands, and I do listen to that guy. I listen to his YouTube channel. I agree with a lot of things he says, but he does not understand the dynamics of the Caribbean. The Rastafarian movement comes from Jamaica. That's where it originated from. And they pride themselves on being black. It was the Rastafarians who kept up the whole conversation about reparations. Yes, a lot of you people don't travel. You've never left your state, or you've never left a tri-state, much less to leave a country, so you don't know what's going on. Ever since Leonard Howell, who started the Rastafarian movement, black Jamaicans have been crying and campaigning for reparations. And not for Jamaicans, but for black folks who are descendants of slaves. If you listen to reggae music from the 70s all the way down, that's all they sing about. Slavery, how black people were treated. They talk a little about black American history, black Caribbean history. They talk about reparations. Listen to Sizzla, listen to Capleton, listen to the music. That's what reggae music is built on. It's the hardships of black folks. So when I'm hearing people talking about, oh, Caribbean people are not black, black Caribbean people are not black, and Kamala Harris she's not black because her father is Jamaican and he's not a black American, to the point where now they have a thing, they're separating themselves. Now they came up with this thing called ADOS. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Now, you have a right to do that if you want. You get what I'm saying? But I'm just speaking about the hypocrisy. You have a right to do whatever you want. You can group up, do what you want, call yourself ADOS, QDOS, whatever DOS. You have the right to do that. I'm talking about the hypocrisy. To the point where some of these people are going so far as to them thinking that they have the authority to tell who's black and who's not, or to determine who's black and who's not. Have you ever seen Peter Tosh, who's been singing about the liberation of black people, fighting for the liberation of black people? Peter Tosh is so dark-skinned. Have you guys ever seen Jimmy Cliff? You know what culture looks like? Have you ever seen Mutabaruka, who is still right now doing poems, and he has a show called Cutting Edge and Stepping Razor, where he stays teaching Caribbean black people about slavery. Most of his poems are about slavery. He does dub poet. A lot of you guys, some of these people criticizing Caribbean people don't know what dub poetry is. They've never left their country. They've never went anywhere. And they're listening to people online who are leading them astray. No, Kamala Harris is not a good fit to be president. I get that. But talking about she's not pure and this and that, some of you are being hypocrites. Because you same people, some of you, criticize white people for wanting to keep their business, their affairs, their families pure. You criticize them for wanting to keep their shit pure. But now a female who's not fit to run for president. Again, I'm saying she's not fit because I'm not picking up for her. She's running for president, but some of you are pointing out how much she's not a pure black. You guys don't see the hypocrisy? And then you have some black females on national television talking about intersectionality and swirling. And you need to hire us into your establishments. You need to hire us. You're not hiring enough black people. You have YouTubers criticizing Hollywood for not putting enough black people in front of cameras. But then you're criticizing somebody for not being pure black. I mean, I just think it's hypocrisy 101. And I know some people will take it the wrong way. They'll think that, oh, he's not from America, so he's criticizing black Americans and he's shitting on black Americans. No, that's not what I'm doing. That's not what I'm doing. Not even close. But hypocrisy is hypocrisy. Point out the fact that Kamala Harris has done the black community dirty. But talking about she's not pure black and all this type of shit, that's very, very cheap. Very, very hypocritical. And for some of you out there talking about who's black and who's not, listen. A lot of you don't know shit. Okay? There are black folks all across the globe. And many of us are descendants of slaves. So you have no authority to speak about who's black and who's not. Some of you have never traveled. You don't know shit. You don't even know who Maurice Bishop is. Maybe you're going to Google him right now. I don't like to hear idiots talk. And they have no information. They don't know anything. The only thing I see like some black Jamaicans do is they deny their African ancestry. But they never deny that they're black. Never. Many of them will tell you they're native to the land of Jamaica. You know, they were slaves, but they didn't come from Africa. That's as far as I've heard them say anything concerned or having to do with slavery or ancestry. But I've never heard any of them say, I'm not black. I'm not black. No. So I keep telling you guys, the Caribbean has a lot of dynamics. It's not only black people who live in the Caribbean. You have Indian people who live in the Caribbean. And they mix and mingle with other people. Some of them, the minority of them, because classism controls the Caribbean, Indian people don't mix with black people. The Hispanics, they don't mix with black people. A few of them might. So when they mix and they mingle and they get the mixed children, then some of the mixed children may come out and say, hey, I'm not black. But the black people there, you'll never hear them say they're not black. They'll say they're not African, some of them, but they'll never come out and say they're not black. So I really would like for some of you YouTubers who don't know shit to just stop spreading misinformation. That's why I keep talking about people who are trying to create a divide between Caribbean black folks and American black folks. Some people are really trying to do that. For whatever reason, I don't know. The islands, like, come on, bro. I know you're mocking us. I know you're mocking us. But it's fine. It's fine. Anyway, that's it. I'm out.